Hello Internet, this is Euan from GameEngineStart.com. I am here once again with Callum.
Hello.
And so in the time that we've been on this earth at the same time, the last 20 years.
24.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, in fact, in time
Oh
of
god,
recording.
yeah, fuck. Yeah, I knew that, that's fine.
Yeah, you totally knew that, didn't you?
Yep. You've been kind of interested in what I do for a living, in the same way that I am with you, but like...
Well, no, not really, because we're gonna like partly go on a little bit, because like I'm interested in what you do from a perspective of like I think programming is fascinating and I like knowing things about it.
And it's the
and
same...
like how it works.
It's the same
and
approach
but I never want to fucking do it.
Yeah.
I hate programming. I hate the physical act of programming, but I love what programming can do and what it is as a thing.
Okay, so
whereas you don't really understand anything about what I do.
I'm getting bits and pieces of it, but like I'm more of a kind of like popular science man, where I'll read about science but not entirely understand how it works, and I'll get explanations from you and stuff. So we're going to do this one. This is not my main game, but I've done kind of the base tutorial just to give you a rough idea of what this is. So this is human resource machine. And this is from the Tomorrow Corporation, which are the same guys that did Little Inferno, and
yeah, that game's cool.
They did something else as well. I can't remember exactly what it is. But anyway, it's very much their art style. You can look at this and go, this is these guys.
Yeah.
So, the whole point of this is that it's a kind of pseudo-programming game, which we appear to have an affinity for, or I have an affinity for on this website.
Yeah, I like how you play. You go to work every day and do programming, then come home and play video games that are basically programming.
Kind of, yeah, because it's all solving puzzles, which is kind of what I'm here for. So, this is a little bit in, so I've done the main tutorial bit. So the point of each of these stages is that I need to get stuff from here, put it in the outbox, following the rules that are on the screen. So the rules for this stage, drop them into the outbox in reverse order and repeat until the inbox is empty. Okay, so these are my commands, and I can drag commands in here like this, and they will run from top to bottom in a program.
So it's a first in, last out order, or whatever it is called.
That's got nothing to do with what we're doing, but I'm going to let you go with that one.
Is it not?
No.
Okay.
So yeah, so we need to put these in reverse order. So ideally, the kind of very basic program in this is this, where that means get something from an inbox, put it in outbox, and then jump back to start and repeat infinity.
Okay, sure.
So if I run this, so I can run it here, you'll see he grabs the thing from there, puts it in the outbox, and then immediately go, no! We didn't expect that, we expected something else, because the rules say first two things in reverse order, and repeat to infinity. So we need
you got to grab 8-2, not 2-8.
And actually, like, this one kind of uses programming.
Step back and debug.
Yeah, so
even though it's a programming game.
Yes, so they kind of don't hide the fact that this is basically like visual programming. So you can step back through the steps of your program one by one, and try stuff. And you can
that thing you can do with actual programs.
Stepping forward, yes. Stepping back is a little bit more difficult, but yes.
Sure.
So you can speed it up and just like literally just jump through the steps very quickly. So let's restart it again. So this is obviously not going to work. So I need to put it in reverse order. So let's clear the.
You need to put the first two things in reverse order. So that needs to be 5-3, not 3-5.
Yes. They need to be put in the order 5-3. So I have this space in the middle, which are these numbered squares, and these are basically like your kind of temporary storage. So what I can do is I can get the first thing from the inbox, and then I'm going to copy the thing that I have in my hand into 0. Then I'm going to...
Does that actually copy it, or does it just put it down there?
So run it, he puts it down, but it's a copy, right? So he still has it in hand, but it is a copy, right?
Sure.
So you can copy it to 0. So that now sits there. So then he's going to go back to the inbox to get the second one. So he's going to go get 5.
Right.
He's going to put that straight in the outbox.
Right. And then go to...
Copy from 0.
Right. And then go...
Put it in the outbox. And then keep going forever. So if I run that, you'll see it gets from the outbox, puts it down.
And just throws it away.
Throws it away. Puts down 5. Then puts down 4. So then next he goes along, he does the thing and replaces what's there. And then if I speed it up, he does...
Right,
and that's it. So that's the whole thing, is that they give you a solution, a puzzle, and you figure it out with programming.
God, the style of these games is
They have
bizarre.
Such a unique style. And then every now and then there's like little bits of story in the middle as well, where you get these ladies have been in all of the story bits so far, and they're all just like office workers. but then there's some other thing going on in the city where this news report happens every now and then, and
Regions in the city continue to experience power failure. Local authorities are investigating.
Yeah, this was kind of like Little Inferno as well, where like it started out as a game where you were just like buying stuff from catalogs, but then it like developed into something else weird.
Yeah, that game
it was like a relationship between you and your neighbor and stuff.
Yeah, it went places. I'm assuming this is going to do the same thing, but I haven't got that far yet. Okay, so the next stage, what we got here. So for each 2 things in the inbox, add them together and put the result in the outbox. So I now have an add command. So
Okay.
we can use
These are all like commands that are relatable to real programming, right?
like yes, at various levels, yes. Like this is the thing I enjoy about this game is it's a lot more low level than a lot of programming games you've seen, where like this is basically memory, right? And you address them.
So you're saying that this is kind of like writing machine code?
This is closer to assembler and stuff like that than, like, for instance, C++ or Java or whatever. This is kind of slightly lower because the operations you get. Because one of the other things you'll get, which you'll see when I go later, is one of the tasks is multiply 2 numbers together, and you don't get a multiply instruction, so you have to do it with add and subtract.
Right.
And that kind of stuff. So anyway.
You can't multiply in binary, so it's not. Yeah.
Well, no, you can't. It's just that you don't get a 1-line instruction. I could go into atomic instructions, but that's for another time.
Let's not do that. Yeah.
So I need to add
That's
the
for
contents.
when you release your lecture series on our video game website.
Exactly. Computing for dummies. Okay, so I'm going to grab something at outbox and I'm going to copy it into 0. So I've got it stored. And then I'm going to grab the next thing in the inbox and I'm going to do add at 0. And what that's going to do is take whatever's in 0, add it to whatever I have in my hand, and put it in my hand.
Okay.
And then go to outbox and then jump. So then if we do this again, it's going to take 7, put 7 down, go grab 9, add 9 and 7 together to get 16, dump it in outbox. And then it's just going to repeat. And I can speed it up. That's fine. So the other interesting thing about this that you don't get with a lot of programming games is the data sets you get in are interesting, and I'll show you why in a minute. It's also like, so if I go like up, there's a bunch of levels in this.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, there's quite a few levels, and they get complicated very quickly, but every now and then there's these splits where I can go down the main line, which is just to continue, but there's the splits off are like more difficult puzzles, like exponentially more difficult puzzles, but using the stuff that you've got up till now. So this is going to introduce new stuff.
Just you really testing your
metal,
so
for instance,
basically.
we're going here. So the last one was add 2 numbers together and put them in the outbox, right? So okay, so now I have to take everything in the inbox, triple it, and outbox the result.
Oh God. Okay.
So again, we're gonna take from the inbox, and we're gonna copy it to 0.
Yeah.
And then we're going to. So this is interesting because this is
So you're
interesting.
having to triple. So you're having to like triple 3, triple -7,
And triple 5,
triple 5, and triple 0.
So the interesting thing is that
Okay.
again we've got an add instruction, right? Add works differently on negative numbers. So my solution has to handle positive numbers, negative numbers, and 0. And from experience, 0 is the one that will fuck you. Like, just so you know, because it.
Well, like this isn't particularly difficult for negative numbers because you're adding negative numbers together. There's negatives
this
to
one in
them
particular,
anyway.
but there are ones later that really fuck with you with the because you can have a whole solution mapped out and then you get a negative number and you go, well, none of this works anymore because this is all negative.
From my experience with programming, things returning negative numbers normally means something's fucked up.
Okay, so I'm gonna do that.
You're copying to 0. Surely you just take the thing in your hand, copy it into 0, 1, and 2, and then add them all together.
I could, but also I could just use 0, right? Because if I just do this very quickly, so I'm going to take 3, I'm going to copy it, I'm going to add 3, which gives you 6, and I'm going to add 3 again, which gives you 9.
Oh, you can just add from 0, okay.
Yeah. And then I'm going to put it in the outbox, and then I'm going to jump.
So the theory should work for every
So the theory, this should work for everything, right? So there's 6, and that's
Do you
fine.
technically have to triple 0?
So no.
Because tripling 0 is 0, so clearly you could just go inbox, outbox for
So
that.
you do get instructions later, which you'll see, which is jump F0. So you get conditional statements as well in there.
Oh, fuck.
But I don't have that instruction yet, so currently
you
this
have
is
to
gonna
do
have
it
to,
machine-based.
Yeah.
So.
So this is going to just do that and then put it in 0, and that's fine. So I wonder if it's going to do it for this one or whether it's the next stage. Yes.
So is this like subtly teaching people about like how to optimize memory or something like that.
The reason why I enjoy this is it teaches people how to think about programming, not necessarily programming, but the kind of the way you need to approach problems, and the reasoning I use to fix these problems is kind of the same what I do in work. Like, it's the same kind of idea. So for everything from here on in, you also get this screen at the end, which is like, how many commands did you use, and how many steps did it take to do the thing. So I've managed to achieve the minimum available, which is 6, and then the fastest, which is 24. So
you had the most efficient program, basically.
Yes. So then we get to this one, which is again one of the option ones, which is, okay, now I need to time stuff by 8. Right?
Okay.
So, but the reason why I like this one is because they start to give you this extra help. It's
can you do it with only 3 add commands? Can you do it with
3 add commands? So how the fuck do you do it with 3 add commands? Okay, so we want to take from the inbox. We copy to 0 to start with, right?
So you copy 0, you add that to itself.
Yeah, so you can add it to 0, so that doubles it.
Then copy that to 1, add that to itself. Then copy that to
basically
2, add that to itself in an outbox. Is that not right?
So you can do that, and then add, and then that. Oh, and then jump, but then you should outbox it. So if we run that, so 5, 8, so this would be 40, right? So 5, 10, and then, oh, no. Oh yeah, yes, that's right. 40.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
And that's it.
That was my idea, but you're doing it in 1 memory space instead of 3.
So you can totally do it. You can split it over 3, but like for efficiency reasons, and because it makes more sense to me that you can replace the stuff, and that's fine. So again, achieved that. So the next one in here is the tetracomultiplier.
So that's 20? No, not 20. 40.
So I need to multiply stuff by 40 with just these instructions. I still haven't figured out how to do this yet, so I'm going to move this away.
Professional programmer hasn't figured out how to multiply stuff by 40 in 6 spaces.
It was late last night when I started playing this, and I just couldn't think. I wanted to see what the rest of the instructions were. So for instance, this is the next one, which is 0 exterminator. So this is where you start to get this is where you start to get your conditional statements, right? So
hey, it's working in 8. That's it's not a significant number because it's like memory was like 8 and then 16 and then 32.
It's in powers 2, yes. But there's actually 9 spaces here, but we'll move on. So send,
there are,
So here we go. So send all things that are not 0 to the outbox. So I've now have this new command, which is jump if 0. So again, we can take things from the outbox, and then if the thing we have is a 0, so again we've got the jump thing, so I can jump to any part of the program. So I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna explain what I'm doing, and then jump back. So I take something from the inbox.
Yeah.
Right, I might just run this to show you. So I take something from the inbox. Oh no, actually that's too quick. That's far too quick.
Fuck that up, did you?
No, I didn't fuck it up. It's too quick. So I'm gonna take something from the inbox. Jump F0. So it's a 9. So it's not gonna do that. So then it's gonna hit jump. Go back to the inbox. I'm inboxing that are not 0. So I did this slightly wrong.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
And then jump F0.
Oh
Go
Christ.
there, and then I can get rid of that. I think that's right. If it's a 0,
so
go back.
Something in the inbox. If it's 0, it goes back to the inbox, or you're gonna go back to the inbox. If not, then it goes to the outbox, then jump back. Yeah, that seems right.
That should be it. So it's gonna take 9. It's gonna put 9 in the outbox. It's gonna grab 0.
It's gonna discard that 0.
0. Yep. 4. Okay, so that should be. Yeah. So that's that.
Cool.
So
right.
And as you move further and further up the thing, you get more.
Can you show us like a late game one?
Yeah. So I'm gonna go back to where my actual save is. To show you where to get, because there's a level that, because the other thing is it's very much like Space Chem, which is another one of my very, very good game.
Yeah, you really like Space Chem.
Once you complete a level, it keeps your solution there.
Right. Okay.
So I just put it, so I'm up here right now, and I haven't even started this level yet. But I just very quickly want to show you stuff. When they start talking about strings, which is another thing that is a proper programming term, and they actually start talking about. So inventory report is the one where I went, right, fuck you, and you're gonna look at this instruction set and you're gonna freak out. But just bear with me, okay? So inventory report. So here's my.
Ha! What?
So
why are there handwritten notes?
So this is kind of, and also there's handwritten notes.
Oh wait, are the handwritten notes like what are they called?
Comments.
The things you put on code that are comments. That's the one.
So I can.
Is that actually comments?
Yes, so I can take a label, stick it in there, and then say this is the thing here, and then it'll appear in there. I think that's really funny, but also I really wish from a programmer point of view I could just type shit. But like I've had to draw all of these myself.
That's crazy.
It's
That's
nuts.
mental.
And also I can attach labels to any of the spaces on the floor. So if I attach a label to this one, because this is permanently going to be 0, so I've attached 0 to it. And if I attach labels to these spaces as well, because these are special spaces that I'm going to use throughout the program.
Current address and count, is that?
So, what I have to do in here is for each thing in the inbox, send to the outbox the total number of matching items on the floor.
Okay.
So
if you get an X from the inbox, you have to send 3 X's?
no, I have to send 3.
Oh, you have to send... oh, okay.
Yeah. So
you have to convert an X into a 3.
kind of, yes. So this is how this is going to work, and I'm going to run you through this program just so you get an idea of what we're doing, and the comments will make sense, right? So firstly, there's a setup step. So everything so far has been just grabbed straight from inbox, but there's a setup step that needs to happen here. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take this one step at a time. So I'm going to copy from 0. So I'm going to take that copy. I'm going to put that in count, and I'm going to put that in address. This is my setup phase.
Sure.
Then I'm going to get a thing from the inbox, which is my X. So I need to find all the X's in the board. I'm going to copy that into the current. So it's the current letter I'm looking for.
Yep.
So oh shit. There's an undo button.
You move your comments.
There we go. Just so I don't. Okay. So the next thing we're gonna have to do is we need to check if we are. So /n is new line character.
A programming term.
It's a new line character, right? So the other thing is, in order for your comments to fit in this tiny thing, you need to start using your own shorthand and stuff. So
I also like how you've put a comment and you're still not sure about it. It was like, comment in? Oh no.
So what that means is this bit of code is checking to see if we are at a new line.
Oh, so, are we at that?
Yeah,
oh,
so
okay, sure. So it's asking you. Okay, sure.
So in order for us to know if we're new, and by at new line, this is also a programming thing, but you get null terminated strings, and null is just like you know when you're at the end of a string where the string ends in a 0, basically, and like an actual 0, not a character 0, like an actual 0. So what I need to know is, have I reached the end? Have I reached this 0 yet? Is the first thing I need to know, because that means I've checked everything on the floor.
Sure.
So in order to be able to do that, I'm going to very quickly just jump through. I'm going to just speed this up.
You're copying count address.
And then I'm
going
to
copying whatever's there to
So
current.
the first thing I need to do is copy from, and see how this says brackets address?
Yeah.
So this is in direction. So what that means is, rather than saying copy from address, which would just copy this 0, what it means is copy from the space on the floor that address currently contains.
So copy from 0 in this case.
Okay. So I've got the X in my hands, so I'm going to copy from 0. So I'm going to, next step, copy from 0. So it's going to go and grab the B. Okay.
Oh right, the 0 space on the floor. Right, sorry, yeah.
0 space on the floor.
Got you.
Okay. Then I'm going to decide if this is 0. So is this thing 0? No. So I'm going to continue, and I'm going to jump to this chunk of the code. So we'll get back to this one in a second.
Yeah, sure.
So the next chunk of the code is...
Is that not massively... Is that not like really bad code to have a bit of code that's not in sequence?
Oh, totally.
Like whatever this outbox count thing is.
Which is why I'm hoping that eventually these tabs up here, which I can't seem to change to now. Oh, because I'm mid-program. Yeah. These are other like sections to put code in. I'm hoping these are subroutines, so I can like split functionality into other tabs and call into them, that kind of stuff. Anyway, so the thing we have here is not 0. So the next chunk of code is copy from the cur.
Is this you saying what does it equal to if it doesn't equal 0?
Yes. So no, this means is the current thing equal to the thing on the floor?
Right. Okay.
So what I want to do is get the current symbol.
Yep.
And then I want to subtract it from the thing that address is currently pointing at, which is 0. So I'm going to subtract X from B. And the way this works is that the letters are basically numbers. So B is 2, A is 1. Right?
Okay, sure.
So X minus B, I'm going to do X minus B, which gives us a number 22.
Oh, Jesus, okay.
Now, if those things were equal, that would return 0.
Yeah.
B minus B would be 0.
Yeah.
So again, if this thing is 0, then I'm going to hit this bit of code, but it's not. So I'm going to continue on. So then... these things are not equal, so we don't need to do anything. So now all we need to do is move on to the next thing on the floor. So then we end this thing, we go to the address label on the floor, and we use bump. And bump is the equivalent of the increment operator. So it just means add 1 to this thing. So you can go to address and add 1. Okay? With me so far?
Right. Yeah.
So then we jump back to the start. And again,
but wait, are you not supposed to be putting things in?
But I haven't checked the rest of the stuff on the floor yet. That's just the first character.
Oh Christ, you've got to do this for every square, right? Okay.
And for every letter in the inbox, right? So I've checked that this one is not an X, is all I've done so far.
Okay, sir. Okay, right. Yep.
Okay, so now we're back here again. It says, are we at the 0 yet? No, we're not. So that's fine. So then we need to say, okay, is this thing currently equal to the current thing? So we can do the subtraction. It's not 0. So then we're going to increment and go to the next address. And we're going to go back. X. So
Fuck me.
is,
Okay.
is this thing
Equal to.
Okay,
X.
so is this thing
It should be.
is this X? So we can do XX. That gives us 0. So now we get into this thing.
F0.
Jump F0. So then we're going to go to this section, which basically means, yes, these things are equal. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say, oh, these things are equal. So I'm going to go to the count address, bump that by 1.
Yeah.
Then we're going to go back, bump the address by 1, jump back to start. Okay? So B is not equal.
Okay, right.
So it's going to do that, and then it's just going to not do anything, move on to the next address. So I'm going to basically play this, and it's going to run through.
Jesus Christ.
So you can see that every time it hits an X, it goes and increments this count.
So what? Is this a thing that you could equate to something in a computer? Like, is this like anything that would be like, oh god?
Okay, so basically what happened there was, once we hit the 0, which is this chunk here, we copy the current,
Whatever's in address.
sorry, no, so we go down to here. So then we copy from whatever the current count is, we copy it to the outbox, and then return back to the start, where we do our setup, reset everything, and start again. Okay?
Okay,
So I'm
sure.
gonna let this run. Sorry, what did you ask the question?
So yeah, like this process of like checking various addresses against one another, is this a thing that you could equate to something that's going on in a computer?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, these are variables. Like the cur address count are variables. Like cur is a variable I use in code quite a lot. It's not very well named, but it's a variable name I use. So you're basically putting things into variables, checking other variables, and then doing stuff based on those results. And that's kind of, it's input, process, output. That is every computer program ever, right?
Sure, okay.
And it's kind of distilled all of that into this single screen thing, which is kind of awesome, actually.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's really impressive, yeah.
And then this is the last one, so I'm just going to very quickly let it go do this. So it's when they started adding stuff like indirection, where it says go to the thing that this variable currently says, is when I went, oh, they're not fucking about with this thing, right? This is as close to programming as you can get without just programming. So that's the end of that one. But as
My brain hurts.
as you can see, I could have done that with 2 less commands and in about 150 less steps.
Jesus.
So
so this is where like code optimization comes into play that you're always talking about, right?
So another thing that's very important is they say this at the bottom. It says these challenges are very difficult. In many cases, it is not possible to optimize both of these things simultaneously. So what you actually have to do is have a solution that's probably optimized for a number of commands, but might take longer, or the one that does it as quickly as possible, but might have a bunch more commands.
So that's like speed of the program versus the toll on the system? Is that what
yeah, or amount of memory it takes, or that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that's the kind of optimization stuff.
Right.
So yeah, it's all kinds of fucked up. So we're going to very quickly look at... So this is an interesting one as well. This is string reversal, which again, this is slightly similar, but... So basically what it says is, okay, for each 0 terminate string in the inbox, reverse it, put it in the outbox. So basically it's saying, O-N-E, that's null terminated. So that's a string, put that in the outbox. But I need to reverse it.
Oh, so the word... Oh, right. Okay,
So it's
so
the
that's
word
you
one.
defining what that... Oh, not defining, but you saying that's the end. Okay,
So
sure.
that's you saying this is the end of a word. So I need to put this in the outbox in the order E-N-O, right?
In reverse order. Okay, sure.
Yes, in reverse order, because that's the part. So I'm going to turn this up just very quickly to run. So again, there's a setup phase. It puts the characters in there in that order, then grabs them in reverse order and puts them down. So again, you end up with an interesting thing here where, okay, so if I, oh shit, oh well, okay, hold on, I'll get back to where we were there. And that's not okay.
Tab bite.
Yeah. Okay, so, oh, these are all 4-letter words. That was going to ruin my point. Okay, never mind. But the point is that, like, this program works regardless of the length of letters, right? Because all it's doing
Surely
is...
not regardless of the length.
Well, yes, because...
Surely you could only go to 12.
Oh, well, yes, sorry, in that case, yes. Yeah. But what I'm going to do is... What I mean is, so this is old, so that's just 3 letters. That's fine. And then that's going to put them in there. That's fine. But the next one is... Oh, the next one is T as well. God damn it. Okay, never mind. But yes, so Again, this is relatively straightforward. You just reverse the characters. And like, there's maybe a way of doing it with one space, don't know, but that's not what we're doing. So again, I could have done that with a single list command and like only 3 steps. It was 3 steps over. So you have to look at this and go, how do I optimize 3 steps out of this thing? So it's interesting in that way. So we're very quickly going to have a look at the thing that I'm at right now. So this is the next story level I have to get. Also, I quite like that the character you start with gets older as the years go on.
Yeah.
Which is quite cool.
Also, the building is falling apart.
I don't want to say why the building's going apart because that's a little bit of story that's in here.
Sure.
So I think I've tried this and haven't quite got there yet. Did I do something?
Right, so what's the actual thing you have to do?
So what I have to do here is send everything from the inbox to the outbox unless you've seen the same value before.
So if like the 2 Ds that are sitting in the inbox right now, one of them's got to be deleted.
So I send one of them to D but don't send the other one. So I have not worked this out yet. So I'll tell you what my reasoning for what I have here is. So again, we're going to do the little bit of setup where we're going to zero out.
Why does the music sound like we're in a 90s club?
I know,
don't understand.
that's that as well. So I'm going to zero out the stuff that we start with. Then we're going to take this here, and I'll explain why that's there in a second. And then we're going to get our first thing. So what my thinking is that every time I pick up an item, I'm going to check and see if it's on the floor. If it's not on the floor, then I'm going to stick it in the outbox and put it on the floor. So that when I grab the next thing...
Can you do that?
I think so. So...
I'm guessing there's a way to clone or something like that.
So it's copy 2, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to take the current thing, and I'm going to put it in the current slot. And then I'm going to copy this... copy this from address. I'm trying to remember what I did, because I haven't commented this code yet. So I'm trying to interpret what I did yesterday. So that...
Surely commenting code is a thing you should do all the way through.
By all means, yes, totally. But... also, it's enough of a hassle in this where you don't do it the first time through unless you're seriously confused.
Sure.
Okay, so I'm going to take the current thing. I'm going to put it out because I've realised that it's not there. And I'm going to copy this thing onto the floor. I'm going to bump to the next address. Yes, okay, so I see what I'm doing here. Okay, so I've put the B in. I've discovered that there's no B on the floor, is what we've decided by putting it out. So I'm going to do is I'm going to add B to the floor and then add a 0 at the end of the amount of stuff that's on the floor, so I know that I've hit the end. And what I want to do is then I want to grab the next thing, say D. Okay, so it's going to copy, put the D in there. Okay. And then
okay.
Oh no, so at this point it's broken, because what I want to do...
Yeah, because you've not cloned it onto the floor.
Yeah, so what I want to do is, well, I'm about to, but what the problem is that because of the way this works, I'm now going to take the D and say, well, that needs to go on the floor, and it's going to replace that one.
Oh, so you need to like increment that into...
So basically what I need to do is I need to copy the B to this one.
Sorry, explain... Okay, sorry. Yes, you need to copy the D into the one,
so either
and then also put 0 and 2?
Yeah, so basically if I jump back a little bit...
Why are you putting the 0 in front of everything?
Because I need to know when I've hit the end of the stuff on the floor, right? So if I've only got one character that I've seen so far, I just want to have to check the amount of characters that are still on the floor, right? So I've got a D, and I know there's been a B already, so I want to check D against the B, and that's it. I'm basically trying to optimize away the fact that I don't want to have to run through all of this stuff.
Oh, okay, sure, right.
So I'm basically null terminating this thing here.
You're null terminating your own code?
Yeah, my own memory, just so I know I've hit the end.
Okay.
But the problem is that, so since I've put the D in there, because that's not on the floor, so what I need to do now is put the D on the floor so that the next time I can check against it. So what I actually want to do is put the D where the 0 is and put the 0 here. And I haven't quite got there yet, because this is a work in progress. This is literally the level I was working on last night when I went, my brain can't take this anymore, and left.
How can your brain not take this? This is your job.
But this is
what you do for a
this
living.
Is with a limited instruction set, and it was 3 AM, so give me a break.
Okay.
Alright. Yeah, so I'll just show you very quickly one more. So, do you want to see how fucked up this gets? This is the second kind of optional one. So, I'm going to skip this. For each thing in the inbox, send to the outbox the full Fibonacci sequence up to but not exceeding that value.
Fuck that.
So if I pull a 10 out of here, I need to send to the outbox 112358. Right? I don't even know. I would need to Google how you calculate that. I'd probably need to...
For each inbox... for each thing in the inbox, send to the outbox the full Fibonacci sequence up to but not exceeding the value of that number. Oh, okay, so for the 7 you've got to send
1 1 2 3 5.
2 3 5. Okay.
So
oh fuck.
I started looking at this. I googled some actual like code in a language I understand to work out how to do this.
So you're gonna like reverse
and then
engineer
reverse it into this shitty language here. This thing is nuts, but it's so much fun. So the only other instructions that are new here, so I've got subtract instruction, which I didn't have, bump plus, plump minus, which is new, but they're just the bump commands. Then I've got a jump if negative, which is one of the ways where you're like, oh, the negative numbers just fuck with you. Yeah, I might have to just stop here before I completely explode your brain, but this thing is really cool. I'm really enjoying this. The story is weird. I don't even know if you'd call it a story, but yeah, it's very well made, and they've done the thing that
it's bizarre, and it's done the same thing that a lot of like watching weird base level programming does. It's just like, yeah, I could totally do that. That'd be interesting, and then I would get into it and I would want to kill myself. So not.
Yeah, I kind of want to see how you would react to this thing.
I do it every time I try and learn programming, which is like learn the base level stuff and be like, okay, cool, this is good, and then try and do anything remotely complicated, and then I want to punch my monitor.
Yeah, like it's
my main problem with programming, which you've told me. No, actually, no, the main problem I have with programming, you've already told me, doesn't exist in higher level programming,
which is
when this is going back to like high school when they taught you programming, and it would go, okay, I've done all this programming, run. I'd hit run, and the thing would go, oh no, there's a problem, and then if I could talk to the computer, the conversation would go. The computer would go, there's a problem with your code. I go, okay, where's the problem? They go, no, I'm not gonna tell you. They're like, no, if you could point me to it, that'd be way better.
So that's still
be like, nah.
It totally happens, but not in the way that you're describing, really. Sometimes it's not obvious. So the worst, they're actually the better type of problems to get.
The problem I had was it didn't even give you like a window. It just said, nah. Like, even if it just said, there's a problem somewhere here, and like framed it for me, that'd be way. I'd feel so much better about programming if it just went, there's a thing here that's an issue.
In which case, you're using the wrong tools. Like that's.
Well, yeah, this was like high school level programming.
And high school level programming fucks with a lot of people because they don't do it properly. That's
but a lot. Yeah, but I tried to learn. I tried to learn JavaScript. I think it was.
Yeah.
And JavaScript has a thing that is like, the problem with your code is here, and I went, cool, that's great, and still got mad at it.
Yeah.
It's like you're not doing the thing I wanted you to do. It's
how learning to program is a whole other video that will never happen. But this is.
I don't know. I think we should start getting into lecturing on this channel. I think it'd be interesting, like two-way lecturing. Like once a week, we each like take a slot.
I'll teach you some programming, and you teach me some biology. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I don't know.
So this is Human Resource Machine. It's on Steam. I think it might also be on iOS, but don't quote me on that. But it's definitely for Steam. At time of recording, and I assume when this goes up, it's currently in a Humble Bundle as well, which is why I picked it up with a bunch of other really cool games. Yes, so hopefully this is. I don't know.
Fascinating. It's fascinating.
It is a great introduction to the mindset of how programming works and how you should approach the problems.
This is how Euan thinks every day.
This is basically how I think every day. Yes. And that's a scary thought that my entire job is distilled down into multiple games. But apart from that,
see, how does that make you feel? The job that you get paid very well to do, you can distill down into these little dudes with like big eyes.
Well, it's the same for you.
Moving numbers like.
Well, it's the same for you when there's like those 3D theme park things you get where you kind of flying through the body and you're just zapping white blood cells.
See, this is my point. You don't know what the fuck I do. You don't understand what I do.
But that's basically what you just said. But it's fine. Anyway, we should wrap this up. Thank you very much, Callum.
Thanks, Euan.